right, welcome back to the Homeschool Shopping Network. Today I'm doing Yes, No, Maybe, inspired by book talk things, except I've never actually seen book talk, except unless it really is on YouTube, then I've watched YouTube book talk videos, but not doing it for homeschool curriculum, mostly doing it for romance novels, as a matter of fact. But today I'm going to do it for homeschool curriculums. Let me preface this by saying I have bought in pretty much every curriculum there is in every different subject you could possibly have that were available. I just wanted to find the best curriculums for my kids, and my husband used to work at a job where he got a stipend for homeschool materials, so I was able to buy all of them. So with that being said, let me tell, first of all, I'm not an affiliate to anyone, and these of course are my views based on my experience, but you may have different experience with different children. All right, or mostly, like I'm dealing with multiple children, you might only have one child, so it might, one of the curriculums that I give a no to, it is often a yes, I notice, to parents that only have one child, but sometimes multiple children as well. That's fine. But anyway, without further ado, let me show you a product of the day. So this is Reading 2A, All God's Creatures. This is by BJU Press. This is the 3rd edition. I love it. I bought it used, so it's a little rough, but it is great. I am about, I want to say almost done it. And what it has is, watch what it does. So this will be, so every story teaches, like this teaches about a story title and a picture, right? So then you read through it. Now I read these as, I do a lot of reading to my kids, so they don't do a lot of reading of the school material, just so that it goes quicker. And then at the end of it, it's got some questions for the reading comprehension, and it's got some vocabulary in there, and give it a title. It's got here, this is a story, you're gonna give it a title, but it's all these different things, understanding what a character does. And then you read another story. Okay, but then it goes on and on and on. This was Little Bug's Trip. Some questions about it, some vocab. And then what I like too is that it does have questions, and it says write it down, write a story. We do it orally just to save time. And then it has, like, so this has nonfiction too. So we're talking about red-eyed tree frogs here. So it just has a bunch of different articles and stories in here, and it's super cool. Because at the end, again, questions, and it's just teaching you. So every story that you read before you begin it has something that it wants to teach you, not necessarily about the story, but of course about the story, but it's got like sound effect words, boom, burr, crack. So what sound effects do you have for those animals? So it's 2A, but it's definitely, I mean, I do it with my grade 1 and my, I guess, I don't know if he's in grade 2 or grade 3, but I say 2. So grade 2, because my kindergartner, grade 1, and then grade 2, 3 student. So it's got problems and solutions. So look at that. Think as you read. What's the problem here? And then we talk about the different problems. It has Aesop's fables. So it's got some fables in here. It has realistic problems in here and then solutions for them. All right, so very quickly, we're going to go yes, no, maybe. I will give you some points and information as to why I think that's my answer. All right, so off the top of my head, let me grab my list. We are starting with Abeka. Abeka Science. Today we're focusing on science. Abeka Science, I would say 100% is a yes. I only have the younger years of these programs, but I would definitely say yes. I didn't get the teacher's manual because I don't think it's necessary. I think it's great. It incorporates God, but in a gentle way. There's not a lot of experiments because it is made for Christian schools. So there's not a lot of experiments because you have a giant class you're teaching. And it's very easy to go through. It is not complicated. It is not complex. It's interesting. And there's a lot of pictures. When it's important to me, when you have little kids, that the text to picture ratio is pretty good. You don't want pages of information. That's why there's another on here that I would say no to younger kids, but yes to older kids. Now, the downside to Abeka is every once in a while you have a reference to school, just because, again, it was made for Christian private schools as far as I know. Okay, next we're talking Generations. Generations is a yes. I only have the 3rd year of the God Made Me. Fantastic. I think it's fantastic. One of the best curriculums I've ever seen. It is very solid. You could even do it up to grade 5. I mean, it has a lot of solid information in there and important information to know regarding just the science and genomes and chromosomes, a lot of different stuff. I was torn and almost got the 1st and 2nd year, but the 2nd year, I have so many sciences that we go through a lot of science curriculums. We go through a ton of them, We go through a lot of them, but what I didn't like is it was just the second year when I read through the topics, like the table of contents, it was so full of plants. It was, I was just like, that's too much plants for me. I know. So I'm sure it's great. I mean, again, I'm sure it's really in depth and really good. So I would say absolutely a yes. Let's do Sonlight Science. That's going to be a no, hard no, soft no, full no, no way, no, just no, no. The reason I would say no is just besides I can't even come up with one yes for it, is that it's very expensive because there's not a student packet. You need the teacher's manual, which has handouts for the kid. You need your experimental book, which has handouts for the kid. And understand, I bought 3 years of this. You have the student packet, which is handouts for the kids. So you need almost one for everyone. And so that puts it really pricey. The second to that, I mean, I guess you could do it together and just do the experiment book. I find a lot of families that just have one child seem to do quite fine with the science, and the experiments I'm sure are good. You have to buy the experiment box. That's another thing, which is a hot mess if you've ever seen. I've never seen more things dumped into a box and closed up for $79. And it's that too. And it's that some of their pieces are so obscure that to have to track those down and not get the $79, I mean, most people regret it. If you go in to get Sonlight Science, you have to get the $79 materials box because it's just, again, very obscure things. I also think you don't need to study 6 weeks of ants unless you like ants. I mean, it's not that long on ants, but unless you love ants. So there's a lot of things that I think are unnecessary. The experiment book, or like the textbook, if you will, is like this thick for kindergarten. So to me, it's a definite no. Could not be more of a no. I almost feel like anytime there's a parent that's like, school is so overwhelming, I want to be like, do you have Sonlight? Do you have the Sonlight Science? That's probably why. And I also don't like that Bookshark and Sonlight. So it's the same company, so it's the exact same materials. They're just almost only one Christian line put into the manual of the into the textbook. So there's no God throughout the whole thing. And I feel like when your name is Sonlight, I get it. You're two companies, Bookshark and Sonlight. That feels a little inauthentic to me. And I just don't like that. I don't mind secular products. Love it. Love Christian, love secular products. Just state what you are so that I know what I'm getting into. Okay. Which I guess they do, except that it's just not very Christian to me. I mean, it's just a book. It's a book. And I don't like their readers that they chose. I'm a reader. I don't want to say a reader snob because I love all types of books. We must read a few thousand a year. I mean, I just returned maybe 80 books today to the library, and every week I go to the library. So we go through a ton of books. I didn't particularly care for the Sonlight ones they chose, which I bought all of them. I bought the whole Sonlight program thinking that I would really like those programs, and I don't. As an alternative, I would not teach science in kindergarten, and I would go with, you go Noeo Science. That's grades 1 through 3 in a box. All your books are there, your experiments are there, everything's laid out, easy. For $200, you get, quite a ton of materials and everything all packaged, ready to go, easy to follow along. So that is a yes. That is a yes. Apologia would be a maybe. A maybe because if you have younger kids, I don't really like it for younger kids just because the high text in the textbooks we have, it's just got a lot of text. Now, I understand they do have like those little, student manuals or student journals, I'm not sure what they call them, that you can go along for your kids. So that's why it's a maybe. It's up to you. If you want to do a family style and that works for you, yeah, go ahead. Because then you can always go over it again, right? When they get older too, and they'll glean more information. Real Science for Kids. Real Science for Kids is secular. It is 100% yes to me. It is a yes. I love everything. I have their readers. I also have their Focus On series, and I also have their other series too. I have a few years of it where it's just year by year by year. I love it. I think it's great. The experiments are easy. It was written by a homeschool mom who also is probably a doctor in something. Great. I think it's great. I could not be more impressed with it because it's very kid focused, but it teaches you college age concepts to learn as a kid. So what I've done is I personally I'm staring at my list, Abeka and Generations, but I also want to get the Singapore. Did you know Singapore has a science as well, not just a math? And you have to buy a few years up because that's just the way they do it. But I want to do that as well. But I'm also going to do the Real Science for Kids, the focus on series as well when they get a bit older, because you can do between kindergarten and 4, they have focus on the 5 areas. It's one book, one book for each of the 5 areas, or you can do I believe it's 4 to 8 as well. So I have those and I'm going to use them, and I'm very excited about that. I will say elemental science, it is a maybe. The readers, yes, if you want to do read alouds, their books, their readers, great. Yeah, read them. They're just like geology has a book, zoology has a book, and they're about 2 kids. I'm not sure if they're twins or siblings, I forget. But either way, they mess up and they end up in summer school. So to get their science credit, they have to go and do all these adventures and learn different information through it. So I would say maybe that, but I wasn't impressed with it's all right. If you wanted to get the added information, like they do come with units, the sassafras series is what it's called. But I do think it's a great concept and I love it. I love that you can basically teach your child just by doing a read aloud. So that is why it's a maybe. All right. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you liked Yes, No, Maybe. Give me your thoughts in the comments. I do read them. I always read them. So let me know if you agree with me. Yeah, let me know if you agree with me. If there's a yes, no, or a maybe that you would do or not do or don't like or do like. And a lot of people disagree with the Sonlight. Not a lot, but every once in a while there's someone that vehemently disagrees with the Sonlight, which is fine. If it works for you, great, go for it. All right, bye-bye. Can you say, please like and subscribe?
Please like, do like.
And hit the bell for notifications.
Hit the bell, you know, notification.